gives us the opportunity to deliver on Plato's thought. That for us to understand our Earth, we have to rise to the very edge of the atmosphere and beyond.
How as a company do you evolve from a high-altitude ballooning company to a spacefaring company?
Well, they're related. When I think about the role that a remote sensing business plays, part of it is becoming experts of the stratosphere. I believe that ultimately enables us to deliver this experience in a curated way that's safe, that's responsible, and ultimately provides a repeatable experience that we can do hundreds of times per year.
Some technology Worldview needs to operate doesn't exist on the market, so they build some parts in-house.
One side we have all of the electronics components manufacturing, and on the other side is where we do all of the integration. The reality is we have to train people to do the work that we do here because it doesn't exist.
And there may be jobs in this room in 10 years that do not exist today.
Yeah, for sure there will be. There's going to be things that we learn and things that we know we have to do that we don't know today. This is the balloon farm. So this is where we manufacture all of our stratospheric balloons. And so if it's one of our future space tourism balloons, it'll be the length of this table. I mentioned it's 17.5 million cubic feet, but that translates to a linear length of about 600 feet long, so 2 football fields long.
Wow.
The balloon is. When we bring space tourism to the marketplace at scale, we'll do 500 to 700 flights per year in space tourism.
500 to 700 flights.
Yes.
Wow.
Per year.
That's ambitious.
Yes. This is a full-size mock-up of the Explorer space capsule. We often talk about what we're selling is a view, right? And so the window has to be perfect. You have to be able to design a window that is safe for operating in space, but also delivers the promise of an inspired perspective.
What's been the demand?
Well, it's been surprising. So today we've sold a little more than 1,250 tickets, and we're seeing that demand continue to rise.
Worldview plans to operate 7 launch sites to send tourists flying for a few hours above unique wonders of the world, landing in a zone near the launch point. The price, $50,000. The first year of the Grand Canyon tour is sold out.
There is a significant difference in responsibility when people
That's
are
right.
growing up.
Yes, and it's something that I think we all take very seriously. We're selling an opportunity to view our Earth from on high. The rest of it should be very, benign to our customers. It should be that they have, all the confidence in the world that we've done all of the right things necessary to make this the safest possible way to view our Earth. And that is a significant burden to carry. That is a significant responsibility that we have.
But space, with its unforgiving conditions, involves undeniable risk for any space tourists.
In the United States, there have been roughly 400 flights that had a person on board. There have been 4 fatal accidents.
In 1967, the pilot was killed on a suborbital X-15 flight. In 1986, 7 astronauts died aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. In 2003, 7 more were killed on Space Shuttle Columbia. And in 2014, the co-pilot was killed on a Virgin Galactic Spaceship Two test flight.
That's a 1% fatal accident rate, which is pretty high, so it is risky.
1% disaster rate. If you had 1 out of 100 airplanes falling out of the sky, we'd have a public crisis.
Yes, indeed.
There are countless safety considerations when it comes to spaceflight. Operator Solutions is a company addressing one of them: search and rescue. Here, they're simulating a rescue effort.
My sense, just watch this, you would not want to be doing this for the first time in an actual crisis.
No, absolutely not. No, something like this requires a lot of training, not just on our side, but also on the survival member side. Because remember, they just had some sort of an in-flight abort or some sort of a contingency. So everything has already gone bad for them, right? You want to be able to do it in a controlled, calm environment with professionals in a safe environment. Once you understand what you're working with, then it's much easier to stay focused under pressure.
No federal requirement currently exists for any commercial spaceflight company to have a search and rescue plan in place. During NASA's Space Shuttle program, Air Force Pararescuemen, also known as PJs, were the dedicated recovery team to perform search and rescue missions in the case of an emergency. But the Department of Defense has no obligation to save private astronauts. Of the 3 founders of Operator Solutions, 2 are pararescuemen, including Brandon Doherty, its CEO.
What goes through your mind from a risk standpoint?
Commercially, what I'm most concerned with in the human beings that are going into the capsules is that they're not trained to the same level of the NASA astronauts. Realistically, you're having a relatively inexperienced, untrained crew fly in a very dangerous mission for the very first time, and there's a lot that can go wrong there.
How does Operator Solutions make space tourists safer?
Number one, preventative. If we can teach these crew members how to correctly survive, how to correctly signal, how to use their radio, how to use their survival equipment, then if they find themselves in a situation, they can better execute that. The other aspect of it is we provide rescue coverage. So if something were to go bad, we put experts on them right away in a very custom tailored fashion.
Without regulation, unless it's required, will it just be up to private companies to step in and say, we need the help here?
You don't want to over-regulate. So I do believe that it will be up to the commercial industry to fill in the